Chapter 1. The Rivalry Begins. The sun had barely peeked over the horizon, casting a golden glow across the bustling city of Brookvale. A sea of early risers, coffee in hand, hurried down the streets as the aroma of fresh pastries and sizzling bacon wafted through the air. Among the clamor stood two food trucks, vibrant and gleaming, Gourmet on Wheels in cherry red with shining chrome accents, and Tasty Bites, painted a cheerful shade of turquoise adorned with whimsical illustrations of scrumptious dishes. At 7 a.m. sharp, both trucks opened their windows with a clatter, their proud owners ready to serve the hungry masses. "All right, team, let's make today the best day yet." Sophie Martinez adjusted her pastel pink chef's hat and turned to her small kitchen crew, a bunch of bright-eyed baristas who had accidentally wandered into the food industry after college. Her food truck had quickly gained a reputation for serving delicious, gourmet-inspired breakfast sandwiches, and she felt an electric buzz in the air today, a hint of competition mixed with the thrill of a bustling breakfast rush. Over at Gourmet on Wheels, Max Hawkins grinned to himself as he unlatched his truck's window. After years of grinding away in the corporate world, his food truck venture had fulfilled a culinary dream: to blend his love of gourmet flavors with street food simplicity. Donning a dapper bow tie and suspenders, he shook out a few nerves, feeling the weight of his culinary aspirations resting heavily on his well-trimmed shoulders. "Today's the day, Hudson," Max said to his sous chef, a golden retriever named Hudson, who looked up with an expectant gaze, tail wagging furiously. "Tasty Bites can't keep up with us after I unleash my new smoked salmon bagel sandwich." Across the street, Sophie felt her competitive spirit surge. She peeked out of her truck to see Max adjusting his ever-present bow tie through the window of his truck. "Not so fast, Hawkins," she shouted over, her voice laden with playful sarcasm. "Do you really think your fancy bagels can outshine my avocado toast with poached eggs? You're going to need more than a bow tie for that." Max turned, feigning serious contemplation. "Well, considering you named your truck Tasty Bites, I think we both know who serves the big flavors around here." Sophie chuckled, packing her freshest avocados as she prepared for the rush. Oh, they had been at this for months now. The good-natured banter, the endless back-and-forth jabs. Every day was a culinary showdown, and neither was willing to concede an inch. Before she could respond, the crowd began to assemble. The clinking of coins, the chatter of morning gossip, and the unmistakable hunger palpable in the air filled the space between the two trucks. Sophie glanced at her loyal customers who were already lining up for her signature Sophie's smashing avocado toast. "Bring it on, Max," Sophie shouted, her competitive streak shining through as she plated her dishes with artistic flair. May the best breakfast win. And so it began. The rivalry that would ignite their hearts. The morning rushed by in a flurry of orders and cheeky exchanges. By 9:30, the lines for both trucks had begun to form, each owner trying to charm the patrons into picking their morning meal over the other. Sophie leaned against her food truck, casually scrolling through her phone while waiting for her next batch of avocado to ripen under gentle pressure. She glanced up, just in time to see Max whip out his mystery dish, a lavish berry compote that he drizzled atop his newly crafted lemon ricotta pancake. "Nice choice, Max," she called over, her words dripping with feigned admiration. "Wonder if your pancake is able to steal the thunder from good old avocado toast." Max flashed a smile, a glint of mischief in his eye. "Doubtful, Martinez, but let's see whose truck gets the most love on social media today. You up for hash food truck face-off?" He pulled out his phone, ready to snap a picture of his impressive pancake to share online. "Deal," Sophie replied, her heart racing a little too fast. She hated to admit it, but thrill of competition spurred something delightful in her veins. Maybe it was his casual charm, or perhaps the way he playfully tried to ruffle her feathers. But she felt a strange sensation blooming in her chest, pushing the competition aside for a fleeting moment. As the early brunch crowd thinned, Sophie wiped her brow and leaned against the counter. "Okay, I'll bite. Who taught you how to make pancakes that look so good?" she asked, adopting a more relaxed tone. Max grinned. Heroes never share their secrets. A chef never reveals their sources. Besides, tasting is believing. Why don't you come over and try them? He teased, his eyes sparkling with mischief. I'd rather stick to my avocado toast, Sophie shot back, though her resolve wavered. A spontaneous thought struck her. What if they collaborated instead of competed? An enticing idea flickered in her mind, but she quickly shook it off. Collaborating with him? Absurd. Just as Sophie was about to pour her heart into the width of her stomach, a shrill voice broke through their playful banter. "Hey, Max," called Claire, a regular patron of both trucks. "I think I'll give you a try today." Max looked over, puffing his chest with satisfaction, and waved enthusiastically at his loyal customers. "All right, Claire, you won't regret it." Sophie felt a twinge of annoyance at the sudden turn of events. "That's my customer." Yes, she pouted, crossing her arms. "Maybe you can try to win her back with your gawk," Max jested, adjusting his bow tie. "After all, avocados are the cult phenomenon of breakfast, right?" With that fateful comment, the rivalry morphed into a more complex game. It was no longer just about food. It was about passion, charm, wit, and the undeniable chemistry that crackled between them. But if Sophie thought this would signal some new chapter in their relationship, she couldn't have been more wrong. The afternoon rolled in with shades of pink and orange, blending into the warm hues of sunset that crept over Brookvale. Half-hearted attempts at dessert menus were stashed away as the two food trucks shared the parking lot, but tension lingered in the air. Sophie busied herself stitching together her dessert program while keeping watch on Max, who stood before his truck polishing his metal utensils. "You know, they say the way to a person's heart is through their stomach," Max called out, deliberately loud enough for her to hear. "Are you sure you want to keep them all to yourself?" She glanced up, her hands pausing in midair. "Just because I'm not gunning for every customer doesn't mean I'm not infusing them with love and dedication, Max." "Love and dedication, huh? Sounds like the tactics of a woman desperate to win over a city," he smirked, stirring a pot of chocolate ganache. Sophie quirked an eyebrow. "And what would the famous Max the Gourmet know about real love and dedication? Isn't that what your successful lawyers and executives model their lives after?" He held her gaze, the playful energy swirling around them. "Yeah, well, let's just say I am learning a lot about real love these days, and the only dedication I see is how far you're willing to go to upstage me. Some rivalry you've got. Sounds like you're falling for my food." Max let out a laugh, breaking the tension and revealing a hint of attraction lingering beneath their constant jabs. Perhaps he was actually winning her over with his culinary confidence. "Just admit it, you like my food. It's okay, I'm happy to feed you my magic anytime." "Magic, huh? I thought it was just pancakes," she countered, her heart pounding in her chest. With their repartee increasingly flirtatious, Sophie couldn't help but wonder how this rivalry had transformed from playful banter to something more electric. Maybe it was the undeniable chemistry crackling in the air between them, or the way the world melted away whenever they locked eyes. Before anything more could develop, perhaps fueled by the adrenaline of the competition or something deeper, Hudson bolted from the established boundary of Gourmet on Wheels and made a beeline for Sophie. "Oh, goodness!" she shrieked, crouching to pet the affable dog while desperately trying to maintain her composure. "Is he supposed to be here?" Max hurried after Hudson, who was clearly seeking solace in Sophie's affection. "Sorry about that. He's always a little too curious, but I think he's just got fantastic taste." The vibrant truck came alive with the chatter and energy of a late afternoon rush as they juggled their conversations with the customers. However, every attempt to draw closer was sabotaged by the clatter of pots and pans, the smell of enthusiasm filling the air, and the undeniable fun of running competing food trucks. Maybe this rivalry was rooted deeper than merely wanting to put the other out of business. Before long, the last light of the day faded, and as the streets began to empty, Sophie found herself leaning against her truck, a soft smile plastered on her face. "Same time tomorrow, Max?" she called out, the lightness in her voice temporarily overshadowing their competitive tension. "Every day," he replied, waving a spatula in her direction. "But next time, prepare yourself. It's going to be a game changer." "Bring it on," she challenged with a playful grin, her heart warming at the thought. The sun dipped below the horizon, wrapping both trucks in twilight, while the lines blurred between rivalry and something much sweeter. In the city of Brookvale, the laughter, rivalry, and burgeoning chemistry simmered, setting the stage for a romance that was about to unfold. As the stars sparkled above them, Sophie couldn't shake the feeling that maybe, just maybe, her hyper-competitive rival with the charming bow tie would turn out to be the flavor of love she never expected.